Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Greg Show. Excited to come to you today. Today we're going to talk about that stubborn weight. What in the heck is going on? It is so common that women walking through hormonal changes, they won't change their diet, they don't change their workout program, but all of a sudden they're like, you've got to be kidding me. I am putting weight on. What's going on with my body? Literally last week, I had a new patient and she's like, Dr. Greg, this is so frustrating. I take my fitness seriously. I take my diet. We eat good, healthy food. The things that used to work for me are actually feel like they're working against me. So in today's episode, I'm going to walk through some of the details of that. Right off the bat, what I'm going to tell you is you are not alone. And is it frustrating? Beyond belief. Again, what's going on here? What is happening to my body? Just some announcements right off the bat. If you are loving the podcast, share it. The goal of these podcasts is to get the word out. The goal of these podcasts is to create these bite-sized nuggets that you can listen to, you can share. And again, if you see value in them, share them. Also, depending upon the time you're reading this, we had a chance to write a book. So this is a new book called Power Over Perimenopause. Depending upon when you're listening to this episode, you can either pre-order it. And by the way, if you pre-order it, we have literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars of freebies that come with the pre-order. Or if it's after our order or after the launch of the book, jump in. Because what this book is the exact playbook. It's going to dive into why is there this weight around your midsection and other places? And it's not just your hormones. So this book, Power Over Perimenopause, it says the keys to treating the root causes of symptoms so you can get off of what feels like the roller coaster. And that's, I just want to acknowledge it. That's what women tell me every single day in the practice here is, Dr. Greg, it feels like I'm on a roller coaster and some days I'm up, some days I'm down, but I don't know what's happening next. I feel like I have no control over where this thing's at. The other thing is we want to answer your questions. So for those of you that don't know, you can also follow us on social channels, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And what I do on a lot of those videos is I jump in and I answer people's questions. What are your questions? I don't claim to have every answer. What I do claim to have is almost 25 years in the trenches of looking at this through a different lens. How did God create the body, number one? And how has the world and toxicity and stress and infection come in and sabotaged and hijacked what's going on inside of the body? So let's dive in here. I just want to hold space for you. If you are a woman listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Dr. Greg, this is real and this sucks. I hear you. Gaining weight, especially around the midsection, is easily one of the most common perimenopause symptoms that I see. Now, I'm not trying to normalize it. I'm not trying to say, oh, girl, you're fine if this is what just happens. But what we want to know is why, right? We use the term a lot in this clinic called root cause. What is at the root of this? If we were to dig this thing up, what's at the bottom? So what I want to tell you is you're not failing. And what I want to tell you is that your physiology is shifting and some unique things happen in women's bodies globally when hormones shift. And we'll talk a lot about this too. So it's not uncommon that I get clients that walk into our clinic or do virtual visits with me, clean diet, daily walking, strength training, and this slow, steady creep of the scale. What we're going to discuss, here are the underlying nuggets from today's discussion. Cortisol dysregulation. There's a concept called pregnenolone steal. Your body, if it's under stress, and ladies, I just need to explain to you, I had a woman the other day, she's from North Carolina. She's like, Dr. Greg, I don't feel stressed. I'm good. I got a great marriage. Finances are good. We had a great family. I don't feel stressed. And I was like, well, thank God that you don't feel that stress, though there are things that could be happening inside of your body that maybe you're not consciously aware of, but they're stressful to your system, right? Like toxicity, hormonal shifts, underlying stealth infections, right? So cortisol dysregulation, big one. Falling progesterone, 100%, not, I can't say 100% of the time. I don't like definitives. Dropping progesterone. And again, progesterone is that regulator. It's that brake pedal. It's that thing to say, hey girl, we're good. You're good. All is good. So you can become all gas and no brake. And then what happens is there's that toxicity overload. These things that your body has been able to keep at bay for a long time start to show their face, right? And then the darn liver. And I've talked about the liver until I've been blue in the face, and I will continue to talk about it. It's the most overworked, underpaid organ in the body. It's thyroid conversion, it's hormone conversion, it's digestion, and then it's one of your largest detoxification organs inside of your body. Here's the thing, once we address all of those things, and by the way, hopefully what you heard so far is there's not one magic thing. By the way, there's no magic pill for this. One of my beefs of many of Western medicine is they're looking for the silver bullet, right? What's the diagnosis? And ladies, there is no silver bullet. When you do a good evaluation, conversation, history, run good labs, what's revealed is probably like 100 golden BBs. And then my job and my team's job clinically is to arrange those golden BBs like dominoes, put them in the right order, and then the reality is if you knock one down, many times it can take others with it. So the result of this woman is she said, my body's finally listening again. We just had her next set of labs, and when she started a journey with us, she had written down 18 symptoms. 18, that's a lot. And when I did my review with her on her lab, she said, Dr. Greg, they're all gone. Like 18 for 18. I have my life back. And then what she said that really impacted me was, now when I think about my future, now when I make plans for my family and myself and my marriage and my future, I don't have these 18 things that I'm holding on to saying, yeah, but what is this going to allow me to do or not allow me to do if I have to deal with this thing? So just keep that in mind as we're having these conversations, right? 3 root cause pathways we're going to talk about. So cortisol plus belly fat, right? Elevated cortisol increases visceral fat storage, particularly around the midsection. So here is a piece of research in the journal of published in obesity, found that chronic stress and elevated cortisol levels are strongly associated with abdominal fat deposits in women. So again, you could be the one listening to this saying, I don't think I have chronic stress. Or you could be the one listening to this being like, fantastic, great. I can't control the things that are stressing my system. So I just want to hold space for you too. Like, I hear you and I hear these conversations. Women that are in really tough relationships, so there's a lot of financial stress, or they have wayward children that just like take the load of them. I mean, I had a conversation yesterday. This was actually with a guy, but same. He's like, Dr. Greg, I'm such an empath. Like I hold emotions for my kids so tightly. And both of my children had a really tough weekend. And I was like, man, that's real. And what a blessing that you love your kids enough to feel for them. And also, what does your worry do for them? And I say this lovingly. Does your worry fix where they are? What is your foundation? How do you come alongside those people in your world or even yourself when there's this worry, this heart weight, right, inside of that? But what we know is cortisol responds appropriately. So in physiology, right, we talk about parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. We talk about sympathetic, which is fight or flight. So if the tone of your nervous system is toned more towards that sympathetic tone, then your body says, I need cortisol. I'm in a battle. There could even be a civil war inside of my system, right? Insulin resistance, number 2, insulin resistance. This is called the silent driver, ladies. As estrogen declines in perimenopause, almost every single time that I look at it on labs, insulin sensitivity drops. And what is it called when insulin sensitivity drops? It's called insulin resistance. Insulin resistance. So that means the same food now has a different hormonal impact. So this is from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. Shows estrogen plays a critical role in glucose regulation and insulin sensitivity. So Oh my goodness. So you just talked about progesterone. Now you're talking about insulin. And now you're talking about estrogen, hormone, hormone, hormone. So your body's fuel door just isn't what it used to be, right? Like, so looking at how are we processing, how are we responding to these components? Number 3, sluggish liver equals an estrogen overload. The liver becomes the bottleneck of the detox pathways. You heard me talk a little bit ago saying that the liver is the most overworked, underpaid organ in the body. So when estrogen isn't cleared efficiently, the body may store more fat as a protective mechanism. And by the way, if there's estrogen overload, there's a term called estrogen dominance. And then respectfully in research, there's a whole host of disease processes like cervical cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer, because your body's not clearing. And by the way, it's not the ovaries' fault. It's actually the liver and the gut that are designed to clear estrogens. So in functional medicine, we talk a lot about the drainage funnel, right? So when the top is clogged, symptoms spill over. So remember, it's a funnel. Gut, liver, kidneys, lymphatic system, which is like your oil filter from your neck down, glymphatic system, which is your brain's oil filter. Ladies, I do feel that your menstrual cycle is a drainage pathway. Sweat glands, respiratory system. Notice your skin is not one of those. So this is where we'll see things like hormonal acne or eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis. Those types of things will also be inside of here. Most women in this case, and I've actually had women who have been told by their doctor, you need to eat less and exercise more. Well, how defeating is it to hear that? And so that's what they do, right? Or they think I'm just broken, right? I am on a slippery slope to head down. Here's what I want to say. Your metabolism isn't broken. Your hormone communication is, right? When your body's in a stressed state, your body's protecting you, not betraying you. Your body's saying, oh, there's a battle. I don't know how long this battle's going to last, so I would like some resources. I'm going to pack it on as nice as I can say this because I don't know how long it's going to take and I have to make it through it, right? So some practical steps. What can we do from the beginning? So we think of like the 3-1 plate method to reset insulin. So we think of like 3 parts, right? So 3 parts protein. So protein is the driver inside of this, right? We want some color on our plate and a little bit of fiber, right? Because fiber is like that sponge that goes through our gut and helps pull these things in. 1 part healthy fat. So the 3 parts are protein, fiber, and color. And then the 1 part is that 1 part healthy fat. So again, healthy fats, we do not need to be fat phobic. We also need to make sure that we're consuming healthy fats as opposed to rancid hydrogenated fats. So what this does is this helps stabilize blood sugar. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, cortisol morning reset. 10 minutes of morning light. You see, God designed the body to be in a cortical rhythm. Ladies, your cortisol is supposed to be at a fairly normal place. 30 minutes after you wake up, it's called a cortical awakening response. Cortisol is supposed to raise 80 to 150%. And we do this on tests like the hormone zoomer. We actually measure this cortical awakening response. So facing the sun. Now, right now in Minnesota, it's literally 8 below zero outside. So you're not going to be like, but even if it's through a good window or bundle up and go get some sun in the eyes. 2 to 3 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing. We want to activate the diaphragm because the diaphragm has a large parasympathetic, remember, rest, digest, heal, parasympathetic nerve tone to it. So no caffeine before food. Because what caffeine does, caffeine's like synthetic cortisol, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to do this for you with a drug called caffeine. You don't need to do this by yourself. So that's number 2. Number 3, the liver. And again, you've heard me talk about the liver until I've been blue in the face. Hydration, movement, sweating, castor oil. I'm a fan of castor oil. Castor oil, whether they make these tubes now that have like a roller on top, or you can do the deep dive with the pack and cover areas, but it's just a tool that can help open up drainage pathways. And then I'm a big fan of binders, and there's lots of ways to use binders. So there's super gentle binders like herbs or beets or lemons, and then there's much more advanced binders that we use from a nutraceutical standpoint that are super powerful and need to be used appropriately inside of that. Number 3, strength training over cardio training. Lifting weights increases insulin sensitivity, and it also builds metabolic tissue. So we had a client who swapped out 30 minutes of cardio for 10 minutes of resistance, and we saw their fasting insulin drop by 10 points. The other thing that we have to be careful about with cardio is cardio can be stressful, right? Chronic cardio. A long time ago, I did 4 half Ironmans and I did a full Ironman. I can't believe I did that. I'm an old football player. What the heck was I thinking? So even though I quote unquote looked great, my hormones were an absolute hot mess, to the point to where after I finished my Ironman triathlon, I literally had to not work out intensely for about 1.5 years just to let my body recover. Chronic cardio crushes hormones. Okay, so think about that. So if you've been staring at your midsection, wondering what's up, nothing's wrong. Your hormones are shifting. Your metabolism is simply following their lead. Okay, so here's some key takeaways. Belly weight in perimenopause is not a willpower issue. It's physiology. Number 2, cortisol, insulin, and estrogen clearance are the 3 biggest players here. Number 3, research shows stress hormones and declining estrogen directly change fat storage patterns. Remember that research article that I shared with you. The right shifts, right? Nutrition, cortisol regulation, and liver support can really change the trajectory of this. And also, I just want to love on you. Your body isn't stuck. It just needs a new conversation. Just needs a new rhythm, right? If you would like to dive deeper into the kind of the whole hormone conversation, a couple ways you can do it. Again, I talked about the book that we wrote, Power Over Perimenopause. You can pre-order it. And again, if you pre-order, there's hundreds and hundreds of dollars of freebies to pre-order, or if it's after our publication date, order the book. It's the roadmap. Or you can reach out to us clinically. You can send us questions. We're here to be a voice of truth. I exist to be a voice of truth for women, and also very respectfully women. If there's a man in your life, I also exist to teach him about authentic masculinity, how to be supportive and a strong force for you, because in many cases, and I'll be honest, I was this for my wife for years, I was the source of that cortisol rise. I was not being authentically masculine, stable, safe, secure for her, and then it impacted her. So a voice of truth for women and a stern voice for men to be a place to where your girl can heal well. My closing thought. Your weight is a symptom, it's not your verdict, right? And when you listen to the story your hormones are telling, literally everything can change inside of that. So that is today's episode. Stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to talk about kind of that mid-afternoon crash. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, please share with your friends, and stay tuned for our next episode.